Hello, soul listeners, and we are here back with episode number 2. Oh my gosh! I am so excited, if you cannot tell, to be here for this episode. We we have so much going on today. We have the camera, we have the lights, we have the mic. We have the incense stick. We have the notes. We are ready. Last episode, we spoke on exploring who you are, or exploring the question, who am I? This week, we will be exploring the question, how are you? Or how am I doing? Before we get into today's episode, I do want to set the intention for this episode, for the day, the week, the hour, the month, whatever it is that you want to use this intention for, I invite you to use it as well. And the intention is to inspire and to be inspired. When we open ourselves up to fill up other people's cups, we also have to be open to having ours filled. Let's go ahead and dive into today's episode with a quick meditation. Make sure you are in a safe space to do so, and if you cannot do it at this moment of time, I invite you to come back to the episode to do it once you are seated or laying down or have the time. In the meantime, in between time, there is a timestamp listed for after the meditation, and you can go ahead and just click ahead. I also do want to point out we will be doing a breathing pattern. This breathing pattern is a count where you breathe in, and there's a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You will then hold for 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you will release for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you feel dizzy or unable to complete the breathing pattern, please stop and resume regular breathing. That is all. Let's begin. First, if you are sitting, allow yourself to settle in your seat. If you are laying down, allow your body to sink into the mat. Breathe in deeply and count to 4 as you breathe in through your nose and out your mouth. Hold for 3. And release slowly for 6. Do this one more time, and this time, upon release, slowly close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. Hold. Release. One more time. Now rotate your head slowly in a circle motion to the right a couple times as you breathe. Now bring your head back to center. Now breathe in deeply, hold, and release. Now do this to the left side. Rotate your head in a circle motion. Now breathe in deeply, hold, release, and bring your head back to center. Nod your head up and down slowly. Breathe in, hold, and release. And upon release, bring your head back to center. Now rotate your shoulders in a circle motion, slowly forward. Now rotate your shoulders in a circle motion backwards. Do a little wiggle and bring yourself back to center. And breathe. Wrap your arms gently around your body and just hold yourself for a moment. Take in another breath, hold, and release. Allow yourself to feel how you are doing in this moment. If you want to laugh, laugh. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to simply just be, be. You are safe. Slowly release yourself and take in another breath. do this one more time, and upon release, slowly open up your eyes and say, I will honor how I am feeling. You are listening to Soul Speaks, a mindfulness podcast that teaches you to actively listen to your soul. This is your host, Cristiana Alexis. How are you doing? How many times are we asked this question in general? We see someone for the first time in a while and they either ask us or we ask them, how are you doing? And mechanically we answer, I am good, I am well, I'm okay, life is good. And then we go about our day. Or we answer the question and we say, and you? Quickly diverting the attention from us, ourselves, back onto the person who asked that question. It's crazy how mechanical we answer this question when there's a level of depth to this question that is so deep and powerful that if we took a moment and stood back to answer the question, how we are really doing, we would be able to discover so much about ourselves. I remember there was a period in my life where I was going through it. I had a failing relationship. I had problems at work. I actually hated my job. I felt disconnected from the world, from my family, from my friends. And I was just moving through the world as if I was supposed to, or what I thought I was supposed to. I felt like I had to be a functioning person in society who contributes to society. And everything that I was going through didn't matter because that was just life. It's crazy how mechanical this question has become. There's a level of depth to this question that if we really took a moment to ask ourselves that, we would have answers within ourselves, within our soul, that would help us guide us through this life. My older sister and I are pretty close. We have a lot in common and we just know each other. It wasn't the fact that she hadn't heard from me in a while that she asked this question. We could go a long period of time without talking to each other and we'll randomly check in with one another. But it was just the fact that she knew me. She had a feeling and she reached out. She called me and asked me, how are you doing? And I answered, I'm doing good. And she said, no, Cristiana, how are you really? Okay, so I paused, I checked in with myself, and I remember having the feeling that I wanted to cry. I was a Marine at the time. Marines don't cry. Cristiana don't cry. No, I am strong and this is life and I will get through this. So of course I responded to the question, I'm good. And then I went on a little tangent about something little that I made seem to make me really, really happy. And I remember just babbling about that moment. And honestly, it was not really worth mentioning of. At the end of the conversation, she goes, are you sure you are okay? And I said, yeah. Why would you ask that? She goes, I'm just making sure. Okay, well, love you. Bye. So we disconnected and I went about my day. So I remember going into the kitchen and starting to cook dinner. And I'm grabbing things out of the cabinet and I'm thinking, how am I doing? How am I doing? How am I doing? And I remember slamming the pot onto the stove. How am I doing? I am not doing okay, is what I thought. And then I said it out loud. How am I doing? Do I look okay? And I said that to nobody. I was alone that day. I'm just saying it out to the air. And the moment those words came out of my mouth, I opened the floodgates. I just cried and cried and cried. And I realized that I had allowed my day-to-day task, my duty to society, my duty to the people around me to cover up what really my soul and spirit wanted to say. It was screaming inside of me, "You are not okay. You are not okay." And I was avoiding the possibility that I was not happy. I was avoiding that I was just tolerating that I was not at peace. I was not asking spirit, "How are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you okay?" I remember calling my older sister back and I told her, I said, "Hey, I am not okay." And she was like, "I know. I was just waiting for you to be ready to talk about it." And I was like, "Well, I'm ready, and this is what's going on." This experience taught me a few things. One, when you ask someone how they are doing, don't be mechanical with the question. It's courtesy, yes, but really be genuine about the question. Really care about the answer. And when you do answer this question, really care about the answer you're giving. Be genuine. Be honest. If you don't want to explore right then in that moment, say it. "Hey, I'm not doing okay, and I'm not ready to talk about it." And three, do not let life take away how you are feeling. It's okay to feel and care and be vulnerable. You can be not okay and still contribute to society. By simply asking this question, "How am I doing?" you are uncovering things that your soul wants to tell you, things that your spirit wants to tell you. You are uncovering an answer that can be complex yet simple, or simple yet complex. And that is okay. This question is one of the keys on your key ring to helping you listen to your soul. Before we get into what's next, I want to drop the name of one of the podcasts that I listen to and that I have found very useful. So, for those who are listening that are actors or that are in my acting circle or who just likes to act, there is a podcast called The Actors Lounge, where the hosts interview a variety of people who talk about the industry. Me, as an actor, has found it very useful and helpful. So, if you are an actor, I encourage you to go ahead and listen to The Actors Lounge. So, what's next? I challenge you to sit down with your journal and write out, "How am I feeling?" And be very, very honest. If you can't write it out in sentences, write it out in words. "I am feeling angry, concerned, afraid." And then dive into the words and the meaning. What does that mean to you? What does that mean for you? I encourage you and challenge you to try to start off every journal entry with a check-in. I promise you. Writing in your journal and starting off with those two questions will help you, and you will feel closer to self than you have ever felt. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Soul Speaks. I am your host, Cristiana Alexis, and I am inviting you to tune in 2 weeks for episode number 3. In the in-between meantime, I hope to catch you on YouTube. This is your host, Cristiana Alexis.